She punched my wife so hard that her head hit the mailbox, and the woman still shouted, "HOA rules allow physical removal." I froze for a second, not because I was scared, but because nothing she said made sense. We didn't even have an HOA. My wife, Emma, touched her cheek, confused and shaking, while the two men in fake security vests walked up our driveway, like they owned the place. One of them snapped a picture of me and said, "You're trespassing. Vacate the property or we remove you by force." I almost laughed, but the way Emma winced when she tried to stand made my blood boil. The woman, short blonde hair, sunglasses even though the sun was setting, pointed at me with a clipboard and said, "You were warned. This is your final strike." She slapped a paper on our door like she was delivering a court order. The letterhead literally said, "Neighborhood Compliance Division, something I had never heard of in all my years living there." Emma whispered, "They're not real. Something is wrong." But the woman barked, "No speaking to him. You're already banned from the property until further review." I stepped forward, keeping my voice low. "Lady, this is my house." She smirked like she had been waiting for that line. Not anymore. The two men moved closer, cracking their knuckles like they were preparing for a show. One of them pushed me in the chest. It wasn't hard, but it was enough to send a message. The other grabbed Emma's arm to drag her toward the street, and that's when she cried out. Something inside me snapped at that sound, but I still held back, because I needed to know what they really wanted. People this bold don't show up out of nowhere. The woman snapped her fingers and said, "Get them out both. He violated Section 12. She resisted. "Handle it." The men stepped in again, and this time one of them swung at me. I dodged without thinking. The kind of movement my body still remembered, even though I hadn't been deployed in years. He stared at me, confused, and asked, "What the hell are you?" I didn't answer. I just glanced at Emma. Her eyes were wet. Scared, but there was something else too. Worry not for herself, but for them. She knew exactly who I used to be. These idiots didn't. The woman shouted, "Stop wasting time! Restrain him! He's dangerous." Dangerous. She had no idea. I took a slow breath and stepped between the men and my wife. They smirked, thinking they had already won. They didn't notice the tattoo on my forearm, the one mostly hidden under my sleeve, the one that marks Navy SEAL Team 6. And when the first man reached for me again, everything changed in a single second. The moment his hand touched my shoulder, instinct took over. I grabbed his wrist, twisted, and he dropped to his knees before he even understood what happened. The second guy rushed at me, but Emma shouted, "Stop! Don't make him do this." He didn't listen. He swung wild like he thought strength could make up for skill. I stepped aside, hooked my arm under his, and he hit the ground so fast the woman gasped. Both men were groaning, clutching their arms, staring at me like I had turned into someone else. The woman pointed her clipboard like it was a weapon. "Assault! You're going to jail for this." Her voice cracked, though just enough for me to catch the fear under her fake confidence. I moved closer and she backed up until her heels hit the curb. "I don't want trouble," I said quietly. "Tell me who sent you." She blinked fast, and for a moment I thought she might break. But then her jaw tightened. "People like you shouldn't own property. The board decides who stays here." "There is no board," I said. "There is no HOA." She let out a sharp laugh. "There is now." Before I could ask more, a black SUV turned the corner and stopped in front of our house. Tinted windows, no plates. My gut tightened. This wasn't some neighborhood dispute. This was organized. The back door opened and a man in a suit stepped out. Clean shoes, clean smile, clean lie in his eyes. He didn't even look at the two guys on the ground. He walked straight toward Emma like she was the one who caused all this. "Ma'am," he said calmly, "you ignored multiple notices. We warned you this would happen." Emma shook her head. "We never got anything." He smiled softly. "You got every single one. We made sure." Something felt wrong in his tone. Too confident, too practiced. I stepped between him and my wife. "Who are you?" His smile didn't move. "Your new HOA director." I stared at him. "You can't make an HOA out of thin air." He shrugged. "When the land changes ownership, everything changes." My heart dropped for a moment. That line wasn't random. He said it like he knew something we didn't. Emma whispered, "What does he mean?" "We didn't sell anything." And the man tilted his head, amused. "Not you. The people before you. They signed a preliminary agreement years ago. It was never canceled. That means everything you own is under us now. Emma's hand tightened around mine and I felt her fear. Not because of the HOA, but because she knew lies that detailed don't come without a plan behind them. The man stepped closer, lowered his voice, and said, "You can fight, but you won't win. People with my connections don't lose." I held his stare. "You sure about that?" For the first time, his smile faded. He didn't know the one thing Emma and I had never told anyone in this neighborhood. She wasn't just married to a former Navy SEAL. She used to train federal officers on how to spot fraud and forged contracts. And the look she gave me said she already saw something off in his words. Something he didn't expect her to notice. Before I could respond, he snapped his fingers. The two injured men struggled to stand. The woman grabbed her fake badge again. And the suited man said, "Remove them now. If they resist, escalate." Emma tugged my sleeve gently. "Don't go hard yet. We need them to make one more mistake." She was right. One more mistake, and their whole operation would fall apart. But they didn't know that. They still thought they had us cornered, and that was their second deadly mistake today. The suited man motioned for his people to move in again. Fully confident he controlled everything, the woman limped forward with her fake authority badge raised, trying to act like she wasn't terrified. The two men cracked their knuckles again, even though their hands were still shaking from the hits I gave them earlier. They thought force would fix what fear couldn't. They were wrong. Emma stepped slightly behind me, but not out of fear. She was watching every detail, every paper, every word. The suited man noticed her eyes on his folder and snapped it shut fast. Too fast, almost panicked. That told her enough. She whispered, "He's hiding something. Don't stop him yet." He didn't hear her, but he saw her calm face. And it rattled him more than my stance did. He pointed at me and barked, "Last warning! In 10 seconds, we physically remove both of you from this property." I raised a brow. "Go on. Start counting." He opened his mouth. And that was when the real squad car rolled up. Lights, siren, real badge. The woman's face drained of color. The men froze. The suited man muttered, "No, not now." An actual officer stepped out. A tall black sergeant with a tired look. He didn't even touch his gun, just scanned the scene slowly. "We got a call about a home invasion. Impersonating law enforcement." His eyes landed on the woman's fake badge. "Looks like the call was right." The suited man rushed toward him. "Officer, this is HOA business." The sergeant held up one finger. "Stop, not another word." Then he looked at me. "Sir, you the homeowner?" I nodded. "Yes, and I have footage of everything." Before the suited man could grab me or the phone, Emma held up the tiny body cam she had, clipped under her hoodie the moment she saw their fake vests. The sergeant's eyebrows lifted. Smart move. The woman panicked and shouted, "He attacked us! Arrest him!" The sergeant didn't even look at her. "Ma'am, keep speaking and I'll add obstruction." Emma quietly handed over the device. He played the first 10 seconds. The moment the footage showed the woman punching Emma, the officer's jaw tightened. When it showed the men trying to drag her, his eyes went cold. But when it showed the suited man claiming new ownership and threatening us, the sergeant closed the body cam and called backup without hesitation. The suited man realized it was over. He tried to run. "I didn't touch him." Didn't need to. Emma stepped in his path and said softly, "Your contract line was wrong. The real owners canceled that agreement 16 years ago." He froze. She smiled. "You really should check public records before committing a felony." 2 more squad cars arrived, and the fake officers were cuffed one by one. The woman screamed until her voice cracked, shouting about rules and power and her neighborhood. The sergeant guided them inside the cars and then walked back to me. "You handled this better than most. Don't worry, this whole operation goes federal now. Impersonating officers, forged notices, attempted assault. They won't see the outside for a long time." Emma leaned into me, finally letting out the breath she had been holding. "It's done," she whispered. I wrapped an arm around her. "Yeah, we're safe." The sergeant paused before leaving. "What branch were you in?" I gave a small nod. "SEALs, a long time ago." He smirked. "Thought so. You moved like someone who doesn't miss." When the last cruiser drove away, the street was quiet again. Our home felt ours again. Emma touched her cheek where the punch had landed and said, "You know, I didn't think my training would ever matter again." I kissed her forehead. I didn't think mine would either. She looked at the empty street, the flashing lights fading in the distance, and said the line I'll never forget. They tried to take our home, but they picked the wrong family. And standing there under the calm night sky, feeling her hand in mine, I realized something simple but strong. I didn't fight for my country just to be chased off my own land. Not then, not now, not ever.